Hello, welcome back. It's 8 p.m. I start to get tired. Start to get dark too. Let's read this micro professor. But that's not a game computer, that's a small computer. But I have another one where I was a kid in the 70s. I had a calculating machine called microprocessor, I think, by Texas Instruments. It was a kind of pocket calculator. You could calculate, and then you get a score. You calculate like 10 numbers, multiply or dividing. Then you get some kind of score, and there was some different kind of level. I think I had it like that. I have one. I can try and find it on Wikipedia. Well, this is made by Acer. It was Multitech, the old brand before they changed the name to Acer. So let's read it.
Microprocessor MPF-I. Microprocessor MPF-I.jpg. Microprocessor I, also known as MPF-1, MPF-1A, MPF-1 developer Multitech, manufacturer Multitech, 1981 to 1993. 1. Flight Electronics International Limited, 1993. 2. 3. Release date 1981. Introductory price $149. Operating system 2 KB monitor OMG Puzzle Z80 at 1.79 memory 2 KB RAM storage a compact cassette display 6-digit 7-segment display. Sound beeper input hexadecimal calculator type keyboard 36 keys including 16 hexadecimal keys, 19 function keys. The microprocessor MPF-I, introduced in 1981 by Multitech, which, in 1987, changed its name to Acer, was the first branded computer product from Multitech and probably one of the world's longest-selling computers. The MPF-I, specifically designed to teach the fundamentals of machine code and assembly language, is a simple and easy-to-use training system for the Zilog Z80 microprocessor. The MPF-I does not look like a typical microcomputer. It is enclosed in a vacuum-formed plastic bookcase often used to store a copy of a language textbook, 2 audio cassettes, and a training manual. When closed, the MPF-I can be placed on a bookshelf for easy storage and looks just like a book or a file. This form factor made the computer more appealing to the buyers, since it could be stored away with ease, and it could blend in with the office or home. Programs are entered into the MPF-I using Z80 machine code in hexadecimal format. The MPF-I monitor program displays both an address and data stored at that address simultaneously using a 7-segment display. There is a spare DIP socket for adding additional ROM or RAM to the MPF-I. There are also 2 3.5 audio jacks on the top right of the computer. These are to communicate with the audio cassettes that are used to store programs and code typed into the machine. One is used to read the drive and the other is used to write data. On a conventional audio cassette deck, the wires would be connected to the headphone and microphone ports. 4. This type of data storage is similar to that of a Radio Shack TRS-80 or the Sinclair ZX81, which similarly used audio cassettes to store programs the user typed, as well as commercial programs and games the user could buy. Later Multitech introduced a tiny BASIC for the MPF-1. The monitor and BASIC fitted into one 4 KB ROM, replacing the 2 KB monitor-only ROM. This configuration was marketed as the MPF-1B. In 1984 Multitech introduced the MPF-1P or MPF Plus, a basic computer that was an evolution of the MPF-1 as it had the same form factor. It featured a single-line 20-digit, 14-segment fluorescent display and a click-type QWERTY keyboard. It had the same expansion connector as the MPF-I, strictly AZ80 up-in header, so several of the MPF-I expansion boards could burst on the MPF-1P. It was more a basic computer than the MPF-I, with an assembler and disassembler as part of the firmware, 8-bit. The MPF-1P featured 4 KB static RAM and one user-definable key, power 5.0V via 7805 from 9.0V at 500 mAh mains adapter success OMP1+. 1985 saw the release of the MPF-I /88. The latest in the MPF-I line. It was an Intel 8088-based single-board computer with a 2-line ELC screen. On the 24th of February, 1993, Flight Electronics International Limited in Southampton, England, at that time an international distributor for Acer, purchased the copyright to the MPF-I's training manuals, as well as its firmware and hardware intellectual property rights from Acer. Flight is still manufacturing small batches of the MPF-1B at a subcontract manufacturing facility in Havant, England. See also Microprocessor 2, an unrelated Apple II clone also made by Multitech. Microprocessor 3, another unrelated Apple II clone made by Multitech. References. 1 Summary of Acer.
Good. That was edited long time ago, like half year ago. So I don't know if we should download the Microprocessor 2 or 3. Maybe we should do that. I will think about it. So let's upload.